Welcome back for the final wrap-up of men's NCAA gymnastics. I'm your host, Kensley, and I've teamed up with Virtius to bring you the best of the best from the 2022 NCAA championships. 12 of the 13 NCAA teams competed in Norman, Oklahoma this past weekend, with an additional 12 men from William & Mary competing as individuals. Stanford easily qualified out of the first semifinal with a 15-point lead over Nebraska. Joining the Cardinals and the Cornhuskers in the finals were the Fighting Illini. Michigan dominated qualifying session 2 by 5 points, followed by Ohio State surprising the masses and beating Oklahoma. Going into the final night, the true race was for second place. Stanford's dominance would not be challenged, and nothing aside from a complete and total implosion would have taken that title away from them. Their 423.6 was 9 points better than the runner-up. Garrett Broughton of Air Force was the only non-team finalist from Session 2 to become an All-American by tying for third on high bar. A handful of Penn State gymnasts made their mark in the final round, becoming All-Americans, including Matt Cormier, Michael Giroux, and Chase Klingman. Michigan and Oklahoma both improved their team totals in the finals, but it came down to the final rotation. Ultimately, Oklahoma's floor performance barely bested the Michigan Wolverines, and Oklahoma took second with a margin of .065, helping the Sooners to extend their streak of not finishing less than second to 10 years. Nebraska, Ohio State, and Illinois struggled through the final round to varying degrees, each scoring lower than their qualifying score. However, each team came home with at least one All-American. And now to our individual national champions. There were 8 individual national champions with a tie on pommel horse. Stanford came home with 6 titles, Michigan with 2, and Penn State with 1. Stanford's Brian Perla has topped the floor rankings for the better half of the season and capped off his year with the national floor title. Penn State's Chase Klingman almost did not make it to the final night with some mistakes in qualifying, but the junior came back to tie Brody Malone for the title. Riley Luce was a bit of a surprise for the win on still rings, beating out teammates Ian Gunther and Thomas Lee. Paul Judah was also a surprise for the vault title, as Koi Young and Curran Phillips have dominated all season, but with a stellar 9.7 execution and a stuck landing, he took home the title for Michigan. Curran Phillips was CGA Specialist of the Year for his P-bar routine that also won him a spot on the U.S. national team. The only gymnast to break the 15.0 mark on parallel bars, he easily won the title by over half a point. Like Curran, if Brody Malone hit on high bar, there was no one else going to walk away with that title. His 14.7 led him to bring home his 3rd straight high bar title. Finally, the most exciting battle this entire competition was for the all-around. Brody Malone walked in for many as the favorite, but Paul Judah's improved consistency is what won him the title. Malone faltered on P-bars, opening the door for Judah. Judah had one event left to go, vault, and he had the vault of his life, leading him to beat Malone by half a point. While Malone and Judah are seasoned veterans, freshman Radel Gamboa beat teammates Vitaly Guimaraes and Fuzzy Bennis for 3rd place, even though many of his scores did not count toward the team total. Hamish Carter of Illinois, Jesse Tyndall of Ohio State, and Michael Giroux of Penn State rounded out the 2022 all-around All-Americans. That's all for this season. We'll be back later this year for another season of Kensley's Picks. Thank you to GymCastic and Virtius for bringing this coverage of men's NCAA gymnastics.